Hey guys, it's Jouelzy and I'm finally getting around to doing another Ask Jouelzy. Get into this conversation, ladies. We are gonna, due to the recent occurrences of Mimi Faust and Nokia faking the funk out of a sex tape, literally faking the funk out of a sex tape, a leaked sex tape at that, I feel like this is the perfect time to address a question that I got a while back ago. And finally, give in to giving some relationship advice. I personally feel like you should not be taking relationship advice from a single person, but y'all been asking, so I shall give. Alright, first things first. First question. Hey Jouelzy, I've had a hard time when it comes to guys. So a few months ago, I started texting this guy on my block. Fast forward, couple months, and he asked me to chill, and he say all this sexual stuff, but he got a girlfriend. So bottom line, should I even deal with him or just forget it? I'm looking for somebody serious because I want to have a date for prom, but also scared that if I don't mess with him, I don't talk to another guy for a while. So this is back in January. Prom happened like last week for a lot of people. Sorry girl, I'm so late. But just for all of you teeny boppers out there that are watching my YouTube and not having a drink right now because you are under the age of 21 and this jack of macaroon is so damn good. If you ain't paying a single bill, you ain't paying rent, you're not even paying your own cell phone bill, you don't need to be worried about nobody else but yourself. You need to be worried about your school books, you need to be worried about getting you a job, you need to be about advancing your life, getting you together. YOU is all you have time for and nothing else. I went to prom by myself. Well, I went with a group of friends, but I didn't have a prom date. And I don't really regret it. I get it, we're humans and we want companionship and we want somebody who cares about us. And on some levels that, it provides some level of fulfillment. At 17, you're not going to get that type of fulfillment anyway. But for the more grown folk, work on you and it will come into place. And it's not an easy thing to do. I get it, girl. I'm going through it myself. It's a hard task to take on, but just, focus on. Usher on, girl. Fuck him. He ain't worth it. But yeah, if he has, I don't believe in dealing with married men or men who are in relationships. Almost doesn't count. That includes Negroes out here to go, oh, we separated. Yeah, girl. No. There's another woman in his life, whether they're girlfriends, whether he don't call her his girlfriend, but she thinks she his girlfriend. I don't deal with none of that. Because set the standard for what you want in life, and if you're willing to lower your values for someone, then they're gonna value you less, and so you have to show what you're worth, and you're not worth dealing with a man or a boy who has a girlfriend. Like, for what? For a prom day, girl? Get you and your homegirls together and ride out and have fun. Like, it's not even that serious. I really don't have any specific memories from prom, so I'm not attached to this whole whatever. This was a really good letter, and I apologize for taking so long to getting around to doing this. But, when the young lady sent this to me, I was just like, you know what? This really is a topic that I do need to discuss. And not even just in jest, but in real life. This is something that as women, we, no matter how old you are trying to decipher when it comes to dealing with our bodies and how we, want to go about exploring our sexuality. So this one was, what makes a woman a hoe? Can you really turn a hoe into a housewife? Not necessarily a housewife, but a woman who values her body and not have to sleep with every Joe, Jack, and John. This is why I'm asking. At 24, I have finally realized that I need to put myself on pause as far as dating men and learn to deeply love myself. This decision has changed my life in such positive ways, but sometimes I think back on the negative sexual relationships I've had, the scrub, the DL dude, other ratchetness, and I wonder if I'll ever be able to forgive myself and move on from the dumbass decisions I made as far as men are concerned. I wonder if I'll find personal redemption in learning to love me fully. Thanks in advance for receiving this long email. Girl, it wasn't even that long. I'm providing some sister with much needed advice. I'm taking responsibility for my actions, but I'm realizing that I've never had a mama who bothered to teach me self-love and how to protect what's precious about me from ratchet Negroes, and I'm trying to figure it all out now. Thank you. Well, my darling dear, I hope it is not too late. And I think that's such an interesting question because I think, one, what is the concept of the hoe? So let's tackle that first. A hoe is when people know who you fucked. Long story short, it's such a broad term. I think somebody like a Kim Kardashian, most women probably have slept with more men than we know for a fact Kim Kardashian has slept with. But the fact is that we know the men she has slept with. But that's why people can throw around this term so loosely about her being a hoe, when in the grand scheme of things, she probably don't really have that many bodies under her belt anyway. I mean, you could be a hoe and only have had sex with 2 men, but if you've publicly had sex, whether there's a sex tape out, whether people know, then all of a sudden this whole term gets thrown around. If a hoe is really only when people know who I've slept with or know about my sexual life, then how do I kind of, as a young adult, determine what it is for me to respect my body? Like, when is it okay for me to sleep with someone? Or, you know, if I slept with a dude and he walked away from me, does that, you know, then make me devalued? And in the grand scheme of things, you really have to do what's comfortable for you. There's no simple answer for that. And I think as long as you make smart, wise choices about your body, and you're not dropping it low or spreading it wide, and you're not dropping it low, picking it up and hanging on a shower rod for everybody, then you really should be okay. You're paying your own bills. I feel like if you're a grown adult and you pay Sally Mae on time every month and everything else is taken care of finance-wise, and you want to have some fun, like, don't beat yourself up about it. I mean, you said it at 24. It's kind of young. I feel like at that point, kind of tricky. Like, I'm not going to sit here and sit on some high pedestal and act like people aren't sexual creatures. I mean, it depends on what your religious affiliation is. If you feel like Jesus is your boyfriend and you want to move into a life of celibacy, then by all means do that, but do that for you. Don't do that for the benefit of other people. Do not base the use of your body around the benefit for other people, whether you become uber conservative or whether you decide to go a while out on it. First of all, I am of the personal opinion that I don't have good enough medical insurance to be a hoe, and that comes from a very firm understanding of how my vagina works. It is a pH balanced precious diamond down there, and every time Dick and Harry can't go poking around down there, girl. Some niggas like to spray cologne on their dick, and that's called bacterial vaginosis. Some dudes like to get out the shower after they axe body wash and not wash the bubbles off their shit. That's called a yeast infection. And so we don't play these things. And if you have good enough medical insurance that you can be at the gynecologist every other weekend, taking the BV pill that gives you yeast infection, and taking a yeast infection pill that gives you BV, and then testing for all the other STDs, STIs that might possibly pop up, then by gosh, girl, do what you want to do with your body. Don't, health-wise, it's just like, yeah, girl, no. And at a certain point, I feel like as a woman, sex is such a psychological experience anyway that, like, it just depends on the person. You can't, I don't think there's really any textbook definition answer about how you deal with your body. It is your body. This is a personal experience, and I can't sit here and tell any woman how to deal with it. I'm not on that Steve Harvey bullshit. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you how long to wait. I can't go around preaching celibacy to other people. I'm not the one that has to sleep in the bed alone by myself at night, you know? Like, when my homegirls call me and they're talking about a dude that, you know, they was fucking with, and he went to some fuckboy shit, and so now because of pride and being a better woman and valuing ourselves, we have to walk away, and walking away sucks. Getting your feelings hurt sucks. Having to walk away from somebody that you previously slept with and was hoping that he would be the last person and the only person for the rest of your life that you get to sleep with sucks when you have to walk away from situations like that. Everybody deals with emotions on a different wavelength, and so I don't beat my homegirls up about going back to a dude or getting it popping with him again on the side. You know, folks, do it now. When you keep doing it, that's the problem. When you do something that you know you're not going to be able to get over and you keep going back for more punishment, that's when it becomes a problem. But I'm never going to judge my homegirls who are like, you know, I know he's not good for me, but, you know, I'm bored. And I don't know explicitly that your mother really had to give you, like, really explicit lessons on self-respect. I think, you know, if you have any sort of respect for anybody else, transfer that into yourself. And just understand the prize that you are and the value that you are, and understand the value that you potentially will bring to somebody else's life, and work from it from there. Now, this leads me into this whole shit about this Mimi Faust bullshit ass sex tape. Now, first of all, Mimi Faust and Nebulaya is out here lying about, well, Mimi out here lying about this sex tape that so conveniently leaked right before they announced the new season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, fully believe that Mona, in some way, shape, or form, is behind this sex tape. There's a few things going on within this discussion of this Mimi sex tape. I'm not gonna judge you for putting out a sex tape. I am not God. No sin is greater sin. I am human. You know, I don't believe that I can't judge another man for their actions on that level. You know, if you want to get paid for doing a professional sex tape, do it, but own it. And I'm gonna watch it. And I watched it. But don't sit here and get a professionally done sex tape and then claim it's leaked to try and save your behind. There is no saving. And Mimi needs to learn the art of a swindle. Let me put y'all into a little secret here. This is the art of the swindle. If you cute or you have something that other people desire, you can swindle a person no matter what type of scam or BS you are running. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people that have gotten caught up in controversy and still come up on top because they cute, they dress nice, their hair, their weave be laid, they got pretty teeth. Like, that's all it takes. Kim Kardashian, and I don't even really think I think race does kind of come into a part with her in the fact that she is racially ambiguous. Well, we know she's Armenian, but, you know, she falls kind of into the European zone of things. But I don't even think it was so much race for her. I think it's the fact that she could turn around, have a banging body, dress nice. And so now all of a sudden, girls are co-signing her because they like the Kim Ye relationship. They like the Kim Ye relationship because of the way they dress and the way they look. And she's a cute daughter. And so now it's like, oh, I forgive, you know, why do they have to bring up the sex tape all the time? Whatever, whatever, whatever. Mimi doing it all wrong because rather than owning the sex tape and just making sure that your weave is always laid, your makeup always looks nice, and your teeth is put together, you out here trying to be a G and be a gangster about some sex tape that is clear. There's different camera angles in that shit. Like, first of all, it's different camera angles in the tape. And then, like, you just aren't a good fuck. Can we just say that? Is that too crass? Was it? I mean, she's not bad, but she's just regular. Like, I'm a little cautious because I know these young kids that, like, this is not for y'all. This is for the over 24 crowd, all right? But that was like regular sex. It was real plain. And I was watching it like, this chick is really faking it. Like, that's not how the vagina works. Like, you're not making noises for the right action right here, girl. Like, you're not even faking it in the right way. Like, he's not even doing enough. Oh, and then she had to ask and you go to kiss her. Like, it was just like, oh, girl, no. You're faking it. Like, you're not even turned on by this. Like, you're just letting him play you right now. Like, no, that's not happening in that position. No. The whole concept of learning how to properly swindle people is the same shit behind this whole Portia and Kenya scuffle that happened when Portia finally dragged the shit out of Kenya, and Kenya deserved every last inch of that dragging. Like, you were never gonna come in my face with a fucking bullhorn and a specter waving at all, you a dumbass hoe. And then, like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna bloop you right back. Like, who does that? And then Kenya gets dragged, and you know who's gonna end up winning in this? Portia. Why? Because Portia's the one with the laid ass weaves and the nice makeup, while Kenya's out here looking like 40 years of struggle with some titties. A lot of us, myself included, I never really cared for Portia. I was never team Portia. Someone needs to take her hand and sit her down in class. Remember when you used to do the notes, the line down the middle of your notebook, and you had to write down notes and then give your own opinion on the other side? Somebody needs to run that lesson through history of the Americas with Portia. Portia is dumb as doorknobs, but Kenya made her relevant. Kenya gave her a premise. And Andy Shady Ass is gonna bring Portia right back next season because now Portia has a storyline. Somebody needs to, like, spell the drinking gourd for her. Did you learn to play drinking gourd on that song on the recorder? Coming forth to carry us home? Somebody need to come forth and carry Portia back to school. That is it for Ask Jouelzy. As always, you can email your questions to ask@jouelzy.com. You can also tweet me questions, just hashtag Ask Jouelzy. I will be trying to do this more regularly. I'm not going to commit to it. I'm going to do this next. But send your questions in and I will answer them, girls. All right? Holla at me on Twitter @Jouelzy. Deuces, ladies.